Yeah.
This is the coolest show in the history of television.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the coolest show in the history of television. Yeah.
Well, welcome to your weekly dose of lightsabers, infinity stones, and all things plastic. I'm Dave.
And I'm Kevin, for now. And if you guys have seen the post that we've made this morning, today is Toy Aisle Podcast Civil War. It's turbo time. And we'll be talking about that. But I'll put on a smile. For now, everybody, what's up? Glad you're here with us, that we are on another episode of the Toy Aisle Podcast. Thank you so much every single week for those that are faithful listeners, faithful subscribers. If you are out there and you have not yet subscribed, please do that. Go ahead and hit that like right now. Go ahead and get notified and get in on this stuff. Follow us on Instagram. Make sure to follow us on TikTok. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram, as you can see right there. But Dave, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. We obviously have a little bit of differing opinions. But before we get to that, we actually do have something that we do agree on because it just dropped today. And Dave, you and I can share a moment together. The Ghostbusters Afterlife trailer came out, and I really don't know where it finds me other than it finds me right here, right in the feels. It was perfectly done.
It's it just totally had that, charm. I mean, that's the word that I can use to describe it. Just charm. I mean, heart, whatever. That's mostly nostalgia driven, but like it's just I felt like it was done really well. And I'm usually, I usually set, my expectations going into movies, when I'm like, all right, I don't want to get too excited about this. So like set the bar a little lower and then, expect, what is that? Expect less and, get more, I don't know, something like that. But usually, when you set your expectations so high, they're just not going to be met because whatever you're thinking of is, to happen in the movie, it's probably not going to happen. And then you're going to, have a bad experience. But like, I'm abandoning that concept and I'm just going all hype. I'm just absorbing myself in it. I mean, we've been waiting for this, this trilogy for, this third film for 30 something years or whatever. And we're finally getting it. And I think just like the delays is as much as that's been not a fun thing by any means, but it's just making it, a much like, hyped up experience, because we're just waiting. So hopefully it's not getting pushed again, with, the kind of new COVID Loki variants.
I think they're saying
whatnot.
Thanksgiving is when they're hoping for this to eventually show up. And I know there's a lot of people that, with the world stage and the way things are right now that are still, timid about going out to, the movie theaters and things like that. And I noticed on the trailer, it did say in theaters only. I hope they do reverse course and potentially put that on some type of streaming platform if, things don't, slow down, because this is something everyone's looking forward to, especially during the holiday season. I mean, this can be a truly unifying film. And I say that, not tongue in cheek, but this is something that kids can watch with the families that have grown up with the Ghostbusters. All my friends were sending me all the old, the real Ghostbusters, the cartoon. And I actually found out today, one of my best friends, we were actually texting, and I said, hey, did you guys see the trailer? And he said, guys, I need to make a confession to you. Much like Amy, he said,
oh boy,
I have never seen Ghostbusters. So when I'm actually up there, it's crazy. But when I am up there in a couple weeks, we are actually getting a projector and everything and watching it on the back porch together. And all three of us are going to watch it. So he will get to experience Ghostbusters in its full entirety. Finally.
Very, very cool, man. I mean, that trailer was just, I'm kind of on the camp where like, I wish we could go back to the old days where we didn't have all this exposure of, toy companies spoiling it. Like,
they really let the cat out of the bag today.
Yeah, we'll get into the toy news, but yeah, I almost didn't even need a second trailer. You know, that kind of the teaser and then the first trailer that we got a year ago or whatever was kind of enough. But man, this I can't remember the last time I had like an emotional, you know, response to watching a trailer. The only one, and it will never be topped, but that was when I watched the trailer of the Rise of Resistance, the Rise of Skywalker at Celebration. Like that'll never be topped, you know. But this got me in the feels, dude. Like head to toe chills the entire time. I mean, it was, yeah. I can't fucking wait for this movie. And yeah, there's not a chance in hell I'm streaming this for the first time. I will be, you know, the midnight showing guy, you know, Wednesday, whatever it is. Yeah, I'm beyond excited about this film, dude.
And I think it has a huge potential to be a giant mega blockbuster, because this essentially, I don't think it's putting it out there too much. This is kind of like, you know, the Force Awakens type of thing, where there's so many people that have been looking forward to it that people just continue to blow up. And I mean, we didn't know what to expect in this trailer, but I thought it was so awesome that you got to see Janine and just kind of, I didn't know she was going to be in it. We knew, spoiler alert, we knew the three were coming back. You know, they'd already said that. I don't think that's any secret. That's the whole reason this was getting made, was that the original three were coming back, but I didn't know Jean would be in it. And then being able to see the Terror Dogs, which I thought were awesome. It just, it had that charm and it had that feel. I love what you said, charm, especially when it started playing their original voices. And at the very end, you hear Ray pick up the phone, and man, that's so cool.
You know, going back to what you said about like kind of, you know, generational stuff, and like that's a perfect, you know, COVID aside, if this was just normal, you know, normal kind of life and whatnot, and that released on Thanksgiving, dude, you know, there's almost every family would probably go with their family to see that, you know, across the board. I mean, that's such a family, you know, vibe movie. So it could, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what it does in, you know, as far as, you know, blockbuster, you know, ratings go and whatnot, you know, what it does in the movie theater.
Well, let's talk a little bit of plastic, if that's okay. Hasbro, on the tail end of the trailer, revealed some of the figures, and we are getting a wave 2 of the Plasma series, and we got to see the kids, you know, in their cute little outfits. But spoiler alert, if anybody's on there, they showed us the original 3 in their outfits. Do you have a problem with that, Dave, or is it kind of what you expected?
I feel like, you know, we talked about this a few times, the challenges these toy companies have of being in line, you know, and not almost like the opposite of the Grogu situation where they're too late. But yeah, I mean, you are spoiling it. You know what I mean? You know, of course, everyone's assuming if the original cast is in it, they gotta be in their flight suits. But yeah, dude, that's like a pretty big part. I mean, I'm not upset. I'm self-aware. Like, I know that that's just where we are in life, and you know, they're a company and they got to get their products out, and they want to capitalize on the hype of the movie, so they don't really care if it's going to spoil anyone, because they're going to go see the movie regardless. So if let's be honest, you know,
when we actually see them actually suit up and actually do something, I mean, it's going to be groundbreaking, and it'll be incredible, and I won't care whether I got to see it in plastic 6 months later.
Right. Yeah, I'm just ready for the merch onslaught. Like we knew it, you know, I thought it would have happened a little bit sooner, but everything has been a little clunky with like the release schedule of everything around this film. So I get that, but that's wave 2 of the Plasma. So, you know, it's cool. I'm curious how it does in the pegs. I mean, the first wave is, you know, Peg Warmer City, and
you could still get Dana, I think, hanging from the peg.
Yeah, I mean, I could probably go right now and just build that whole, you know, build a dog or whatever they're calling it, you know, right now at my nearest Target. Like, they didn't really sell too well, but you know, hopefully Ghostbusters can kind of drive some hype, you know, when Afterlife comes out. But yeah, dude, it's exciting, man. I haven't been this excited, you know, for a non-Star Wars movie. I couldn't even tell you, you know.
Yeah, it's cool. And talking about merch, let's switch gears for just a second. Dave, have you been able to grab your Walmart exclusive Turboman yet?
All right, you motherfucker. So, you want to talk about merch, movie merch?
Yeah, I do.
Are we starting the ding, ding, ding?
Yeah. Okay. So if everyone doesn't know, this is it. Dave and I were just casually
The main
chatting.
event.
This is the main event early on. You know, we're prize fighters, and we were chatting casually, and he's like, "I can't believe all the people that are bitching about this Turboman, blah 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 blah, Turboman, bitch bitch bitch. What a shitty movie that was." And I kind of said, "What the fuck?" I was like, "Yo, dude, Jingle All the Way is one of the best holiday movies, if not one of the best movies of all time." And so I'm ready to go to bat with you today. I would I would love to kind of hear your opinion on why you are not exactly Team Turbo Man. See, you are as bad as Booster, and no one likes Booster.
Okay, so here's my thing. I mean, I did some homework on this because I knew you're gonna bring the heat. So okay, this came out in '96. All right, I would have been 13 years old. Okay,
I was 10. So
you know, I do remember seeing it in the theater, but that's it. Like it never, and I might have saw it like, you know, once or twice when it's been on TV, but like I've not seen that movie in its entirety in years. So I'm probably due for a rewatch, but I have no confidence that I'm going to change my mind on that. Like if anything, I'm going to be even more like, this is a below average movie. So my take on this is, I just don't get the hype beast, you know, kind of vibe that this toy is garnishing. I mean, it's getting scalped. People are going fucking nuts toy hunting this thing. And dude, I get it. If you're like that movie's like super sentimental, trust me, I fucking get it. I'm a toy collector. I got a bunch of like just random shit that, you know, no one else probably does, but I connect to it. So like I have it. So trust me, I get it. I'm not shitting on you if you are a person that it went all hype beast and got a fucking Turboman or whatever. But I will say this, 99% of the people that probably got that thing, they ain't gonna have that displayed next year. There's no way they're taking that cheap, shitty plastic Walmart $20, you know, super flimsy plastic Turboman and having it in their DTOF forever. Like that's going in the fucking closet with all of our other shit that we've collected over the years, and that's gonna go every month. It's gonna go, you know, on the top. What's the DTOF meme? You know, the top shelf.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, the things I love, the things I like, the things that are okay, and the things I regret getting.
Yeah, I mean that's basically what's going to happen with you know, all these Turbomans, aside from the 1%er diehard Turboman collector out there. And then here's the thing: if it was that great of a fucking movie, how was Larry the Cable Guy starring in the sequel? Okay,
hold on and give me a minute. I'll let you get your punches in, and then I'll come swing on my haymakers. Go ahead, finish, please.
Okay, I'll dish out a couple more. Okay. So Larry the Cable Guy as a sequel, and here's the thing: I get the casting, I get the Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's the fucking biggest, baddest action movie star ever, but especially at that time, he's fucking peaking at that time. And you cast him in this like it's like putting fucking The Rock as the Tooth Fairy. Like I get that, but it just didn't land. Like it just wasn't funny. And here's my facts. 17% on the tomato meter. Okay, I don't even know what that means. Like that's critics, right? Tomato meter's critics. Okay, and 38% audience score. I feel like that's pretty low for an audience score for it to be this like cult movie that people are like hunting for this fucking toy. So
you want to know why the critics score and those audience score are so low? Because those guys didn't get a Turboman for Christmas. That's the problem. And, you know, one of my favorite parts from that movie is when they're in the diner and Sinbad and Arnold are sitting there. He's like, hey, you know what? My friend, he got his, whatever his toy was he was looking at then. And you know what happened to him? He became a billionaire. And here's the difference, is that Arnold was just trying to get a Turboman doll for his son. That's what it came down to. And I think it's the thrill of the chase that made it so fun with the comedic clown of Sinbad. And I understand these are not, this is not Al Pacino, out there trying to do. You're getting what you're getting. All right.
Yeah.
But for some reason, like I dug the whole toy hunting vibe, and I just think like some of and then the creepy. You got Phil Hartman in there,
Right.
God rest his soul. That was just so creepy, but so good at the same time. He's like Phil. He's like, whatever the dude's name. He's like, hey, is my wife there? Can you go check on her? He's like, oh, I think she's in the shower. How you want me to go check? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which is just so classic. There's a little bit of adult humor, and I know that people don't like it because Jake Lloyd's in it. This is kind of before Phantom Menace. This is before he kind of broke out as Anakin and they sent him to the mental hospital, unfortunately. But this is one of my favorite Christmas movies because I love like the idea of just trying to get there. And then you find out the message. The message at the end is that it's not what you have under the tree. It's the family around you that are around the tree. That's the most important thing. And that's the message I got. And then at the end, he gives the doll to the guy going to jail. And I was like, I don't really know how that's going to help his family, but regardless, but it's a fun watch. It's a fun watch, man. And Amy,
okay. So fun, specific holiday watch or fun just watch.
It's a great holiday watch. It's probably a must watch for the holidays. Do I just want to watch it like right now? It's not cold enough outside for that. But from the toy hunting perspective, you have to appreciate it.
Okay, I'll give you that because it is like it's like a level of Inception. Like it's ironic that like here he's still getting fucking scalped and there's a frenzy around it. So it is, you could sit back and it is kind of comical in that.
And especially
sense.
when he goes there and he's like, because he has no idea knowing how rare these are or how they're not out there. So he goes there. He's like, hey, I'm sorry. Do you guys have any more Turbermans on the shelf? And they laugh at his face. That's the people on Reddit saying, hi, can I get this for retail?
Right.
It just resonates with me just because I've been on both sides of those things. And my favorite line is when they go to the warehouse and Paul White, the Giant's in there, and he comes out there and takes his coat off. He's like, I'm going to deck your halls, bub. For some reason, I just think that's hilarious. And maybe it's because I was 10, but yes, Jingle All the Way is a great holiday movie.
All right, so you just need to fucking watch Gremlins or like Die Hard, like a normal like Christmas watch. I mean, dude, Jingle All the Way. Come on, bud. All right, I want to throw. We'll move on after this. But I looked up the grossing movies in '96. Dude, there's some fucking heavy hitters. Independence Day, and these are in order. Independence Day, Twister, Mission Impossible, The Rock, Ransom, Nutty Professor, Birdcage, 101 Dalmatians, A Time to Kill, First Wives Club. That's the top 10. 22, Jingle All the Ways. 57 million. Just a hair below Jack with Robin Williams.
The Robin Williams movie? Oh.
Yeah. So there, I mean, again, I just don't get the current toy frenzy around this figure for that. Like to me, it doesn't warrant the level of the like hype beast that's currently going on.
I legit think it's people that are just trying to relive the movie and looking for
right?
it. Maybe I really think that's it.
But
they're cosplaying, they're role playing.
They're like I said, dude. This is the ultimate like buyer's remorse type thing. Like they're getting that dopamine dump right away, scratching that nostalgia itch, and then in 6 months that's going in the closet, or it's like Mighty Mouse says, it's going with the Christmas decorations, and then trying to sell it, for retail.
You've obviously done a little more research on it than me, and then we'll move on. But what are some of the scalper prices going for? Do you have an idea?
I mean, it was getting up there towards like the hundreds.
Really?
Not hundreds, but like north of 100. And I think right now you can get it for like there's some sold listings for like $70 or $80, and I think it's like 20. I believe it's 20. So again, it's gone down a little bit, but like, when it first came out, people were going just like nuts over it. And I was like, dude, this is so ironically funny, but
Well, thank you for humoring me on this, Dave. And this has been a good thing. I still think that we're going to be able to do the podcast together. But
I think so. Yeah.
yeah, but once we get to the holidays, would you be willing to do a live stream with me and watch
Oh
it
my
with
God.
everybody? I think that should be a fun time.
Maybe. I mean, Jesus. It's probably not even streaming. Like no one even. There's not even a desire to watch that movie. You got to go to like the fucking red box or some bullshit.
Yeah, I might have to do some research on that one.
All right, man. Well, yeah. Would you? Are we keeping the streak going? I'm squeaking by.
So, as I told you, I've had some issues with the United States Customs, and I told you last week that it entered into Chicago, and it just released from Customs today.
Okay.
It's still not here. But I've still had some things come in before that, which is insane to me, is that it's taken this long.
Right.
If it goes to New York, it's coming to me in like 2 days. If it's going to Chicago, it's been like 45 days, which is ridiculous.
Right.
So this is something that I had to take matters into my own hands because I couldn't let the streak die. That's how ridiculous I am,
Ooh.
Dave, is that I couldn't let the streak die. So I had to see if there was a deal to be had on eBay. And naturally, there was a deal to be had on eBay. Next week, we should have a very nice haul, so I'm excited about that once some of these things come in. But something that was missing from my collection, specifically my Marvel collection, and this is going for well under retail and surprising because I think this is going to be something that people are going to regret not having when Wakanda Forever comes out. I was able to grab Eric Killmonger, which this is a really cool one, especially because it comes with, the Michael B. Jordan head sculpt, which is really, really good. I threw it on my Instagram recently, but I mean, that's a damn good figure, with the Golden Jaguar. I mean, pretty darn cool. So that's one I've always wanted to have that I didn't, and he looks good next to, T'Challa. And I had to kind of help us out on the streak and got that for well under retail. People are just kind of giving them away at this point. So
very nice, man.
The streak continues.
And that might, I don't know if you kind of did it with a little P for triple P in mind, but like that could very well be a very smart, move because just who fucking knows with this whole multiverse stuff. Like they could fucking cast him as, Black Panther. You know what I mean? Like and he could just be back in, and then that figure will be, way more than whatever you paid for it.
It's essentially the potential to be, the Flash, where no one wanted that figure, and then Snyder Cut came out and it turned into an $800 figure. So I got this because I wanted this one, but I definitely have some P4 PPP in mind. So
there you go.
What do we got, man, from you?
It's always got to be on the back burner, just that P for triple P. So this is a shout out to Marty Mouse. He I think he messaged me it or texted me it, but when Walmart was doing their collector con thing, they had all the new stuff that we'll kind of get into, but then they had some like deep discounted stuff, and I needed one figure that I was kind of just sleeping on to complete my Venom pool, and that was Miles Morales.
Okay, I thought you had already completed it though. Okay,
nope. I mean, I already kind of got him on my shelf because he was just missing the arm, but now I got the arm. So Venom Pool will be officially completed.
That's a great Build-A-Figure. Great Build-A-Figure.
Dude, it's hefty. It's got some size. I love the swords that it comes with. It's very cool. It's probably one of my favorite Build-A-Figures. And then the Miles is cool too. I mean, that works in my symbiote, kind of theme I got going on. So I mean, it's a win-win. So got that. And then I was supposed to get my Baroness shipped, and it was supposed to be here today, but it's still not here. But
the Baroness with bike, not the Snake Eyes version. Bike. Right? Okay, got it.
Yeah, I canceled all my movie figures.
You did? I must have missed that. Them. Man, I must have been really drunk that week.
I saw the film. That's what happened.
Wow. Okay. I don't think we've talked about that, but we can save that for later.
Yeah, we can save that for later. But I'm just they don't do anything for me. The only reason why I'm going after the Joes is because they're the figures that I played with, and that's why I'm digging the Super 7-1 so much, because they're from the cartoon. So with these movie ones though, they're just and the movie, in my opinion, wasn't great. I mean, it wasn't even good. So I'm like, well, I'm not, that's an easy, way for me to save, $180, every quarter or every, semi-annual, just passing on the movie figures. So I'm just not going to be collecting the classified movie figures. And they just seem boring. They seem like that Eternals wave. Like they just don't do anything for me.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that.
But that's it for me, man. So let's get into some Star Wars. So we'll kind of skip the transitions today. Black Series. This kind of came out of like nowhere. The Clone Wars Tartakovsky style, from the original 2. Is that 2D? Is that what we're calling it? Yeah, the 2D style. We're getting a Mace, a Grievous, and an ARC Trooper, and they went up at Walmart. I even tried, and like I was able to like I didn't buy them, but like I could add them to my cart and everything. I just wanted to see
essentially.
Exactly, total catch and release. And they were up there for a little bit, but they did sell out quick. I think Mace.
Now, one of the questions I had is: are these kind of like stylized, or are they just on stylized card backs?
See, that's the thing. The pictures that they had on the Walmart listing were like directly from the cartoon. So
see, I would never buy
we don't
something
know.
with not knowing, especially that, because I mean, now granted, I love that line, and this is a conversation we could have. Is that those stylized, Clone War figures? Those are really cool lines, because they were different. They were different from your, 3 3/4 figures. I wouldn't mind almost like a 6-inch version of the stylized cartoons. I'd be willing to go that route, and that way you could get away with some better head sculpts and such, stylized. It's a line I'd be interested in.
It's going to be really interesting, like you said, to see what direction they go, because if they choose to do something, that's completely that'd be something they've never done before in the Black Series line, So I'm kind of looking at it like how they've done with the Clone Wars figures that we do have and the Rebels figures that we do have. They're not stylized, they pretty much are just a realistic version, even the Anakin and the Obi-Wan that we got, like those are pretty realistic. So I wish, they would kind of go outside of the box. I just don't think that they will. I think that they'll be somehow just like a Mace Windu, but
yeah, because I think the Grievous and the Mace Windu technically could just be repacks of the Black Series if they're going to be putting them on those cards and such. And then it's more around. So yeah,
and they might just emphasize more on the packaging, because that's the thing. The packaging is going to look like that like kind of Cartoon Network packaging, just like this Clone Wars one that we just got, with Echo and whatnot. So it could just be highlighting on the packaging, and they just kind of throw in repack. So, wait for the official reveals on that. Then we also got some carbonized.
Talking about packaging here.
Yeah. So let me get it up here. So the carbonized Mandalorian figures.
And I've been pretty vocal about this. I feel like they're kind of hit and miss. The carbonized ones they did, I was never a big fan of some of the choices they used. I think the heavy Mando on this one looks cool, but like this, tank trooper, I mean, that just is the packaging's cool, but I mean, would you really take this out and display it? It's a weird choice for me.
It's I mean, I hate to see it. I mean, I hate saying cash grab. I feel like that's just such a, it's like an insulting, word to the manufacturers and, people at Hasbro and whatnot that are like working their butts off. But like, yeah, dude, like I definitely don't need this. Like the carbonized just doesn't do anything for me.
And the packaging is beautiful. I'll give you that. It is beautiful.
And I've never really met anyone that's been like, I love the carbonized. Oh my God. I mean, give me more carbonized figures. So I think the people that are getting these are more just because they're completists, and they want to have them. I don't think many people are like, I love this, so I'm getting it. And these the dates, I mean, May of next year, like literally almost a year, like
that far out.
Yeah, so the release date, I don't know if that's wrong or
that imported paint to get in here, I guess, I suppose.
Yeah. I'm like, well, what's different on, why such a long lead time on that, But Yeah, I mean, you can still get them. All three of them are still up there, so you can get your pre-orders in. So,
But let's talk about $38 or $37 for a 6-inch deluxe figure. I mean, that's kind of pricey.
I'm trying to think. I feel like that was because this is his third release.
Yeah,
right?
he was on the card back, and then he was on obviously his regular Black Series one, the deluxe. Each one of those were $29.99. Now this one, I guess $7 more got it for the carbonized and such. And
that paint, bro.
I mean, yeah. I used to be I used to be a NASCAR fan growing up. Did you ever watch NASCAR?
No.
Oh, never mind. We have that Arizona Phoenix Speedway out there. Anyway, the Jeff Gordon guy, he was always revolutionary for his paint schemes that he always had on his car because DuPont was his sponsor. And so whenever they wanted to test out some sweet new paint, they would do that. So he had a car called Chrome Illusion where they had, I'm sure you know what that is. It's like the paint that changes color in the different lights. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. So it'd be different if they give us some figures made out of Chrome Illusion paint. I'd be all for that. But apparently the carbonized one's a little bit harder to get.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're a NASCAR podcast now.
Let's get a Jeff Gordon Black Series figure. Shit, that'd be pretty.
I'd be all for it. With the mustache. I want the mustache version.
Oh my god, I'm just picturing Dale Earnhardt Jr., Senior, like with big duster mustache. That'd be awesome.
We're getting off the rails here. Let's talk some vintage collection, shall we?
Yeah. So I mean, we got the same deal, right? The Tartakovsky style. These are Walmart exclusives. You got an ARC Trooper captain. He's red. ARC Trooper, just general soldier. He's blue. Ayla Secura, Luminari, Battle Droid, and Barris. So this is a fun wave. This is a very fun wave.
Very good wave.
Yeah, I mean, I don't do the vintage collection, so I'm not getting any of these. But yeah, I mean, like it's cool to see a lot of figures getting the first time treatment in vintage collection. I know they are constantly under fire for their lack of giving out new figures, and there's a lot of, I would say the majority of these are all new. I'm sure there might be an ARC Trooper. One of the ARC Troopers might be a repack, but a lot of these are new to the vintage collection, I would think.
Yeah, and the card backs look incredible on those as well. I was able to see those, but once again, these are a lot of, that's a big wave, and unless you're going to be taking them off the cards, which I don't know why you would, that's a lot of wall space and a lot of display space if you want to go up there. And I feel like it's a disservice to rip that card apart. But I mean, to each their own. As long as the vintage collection figures and collectors out there are happy, I'm happy for them as well.
You know what I'm not liking, dude? I'm not like this is a new direction. It's been happening for, it's the frog in the warm pot kind of deal. And dude, we're just getting full waves as exclusives now.
Yes.
Like when did that become the fucking norm? Like that is insane to me. Like straight up full waves. Like there's, I would like to see at the end of the year, the amount of figures for each line of Black Series and vintage collection that were like normal releases, like anyone could get them, and then exclusives. And I wouldn't be shocked if it was a clear, inversion of more exclusives than just general release. And it's like, how did that become a thing?
Yeah, that's a great point. And it makes you wonder what the strategy is from the top down of whether Hasbro is getting, kickbacks, and people are paying, Target and Walmart paying exorbitant amounts for these contracts, to have these exclusive rights. I mean, at some point, if they can figure out the system to where you can get these and they make those exclusives, obtainable, I don't have an issue with it. But it's just the track record that we've had on all the exclusives have been absolute nightmares. And I mean, I think we've mentioned him every single week on the podcast, but Chaz the Guru usually always has an incredible meme that is timely and relevant. So go check his stuff out there. But it's mind-blowing to me that some of these, and it's not like, as we talked about a couple weeks ago, Elvis MODOK, that's the way an exclusive should be. Yeah. These are, I mean, you think about the height of the Clone Wars and the people that want those waves and want those pieces. This is not something that you just kind of put on a shelf and hope they move. These will go, and they will have a lot of them.
Yeah, like I'm not like hating on the decision of that carbonized Black Series wave to be like strictly a Target thing, because like you just said, I feel like that's a proper exclusive. Those are all figures that we all have, and they're just a little bit of a repaint. That's an exclusive. But you got figures that are like first time in the vintage collection series that people have been wanting for, and then you're making them, exclusive. So yeah, I'm with you, man. It's I'm not liking this direction, but I've just been noticing that. I mean, I think it kind of started with that full Black Series Clone Wars wave that was all Walmart. Like that was insane to me. Like what was that, 4 figures, and they're all figures that everyone like wanted. Anything Mandalorian, or like
they're Clone War
Mandalorians.
pieces,
Yeah.
and they were also army building pieces. So people wanted to have multiple of them. So people would go and they would buy the entire stock because they want those 330 seconds. They want those Death Watch Mandos and such like that. It's interesting to say the least, and I think that's a great point. Towards the end of the year, if we do a little bit of a tally to see. What that ended up being. So we need to add that to the checklist of things for the end of the year to be like, okay, what's the
great
damage?
Idea. Yeah.
So I think that should be interesting. But since we're talking about controversy, let's just talk about a little bit of controversy. Sideshow is in a little bit of controversy. If we want to get to some of the 6 scale pieces that is going on here in the Star Wars world, trying to put it nicely, there's been a little bit of shady business dealings. I don't know if you followed much of this over the past couple weeks or not, but Sideshow, the American distributor for 6 scale figures and Hot Toys, is really putting the pressure on a lot of the resellers in Hong Kong. And I don't think it's any secret that we kind of talk shit about Sideshow and their wait times. I think there's people out there still waiting for in-game Captain America to show up. And we are months removed from that ever being, out in Hong Kong. So people are going to these resellers in Hong Kong, paying a premium and having them shipped there because they're tired of waiting. So Sideshow goes and starts trying to take them down and destroy all these resellers. And
what's their claim on that? Like, I don't even understand how they can get involved to try to stop them.
So the thing is that there's an allotment so when Hot Toys makes their batch, that batch, there's the batches that are available for Hong Kong, and then there's the second batch that goes to the United States. The exclusive to Sideshow belongs to that second batch. So the issue is that these resellers are buying up the batches before it gets to them, is what they're saying. Even though, I mean, if you want to buy it there, that's the thing and I don't know a lot of the legalese on any of it, but it's not scalping. They are literally buying it, just like eBay. They're an online store. That's it. Yep. And so if they want to provide a service for something, you don't have to buy it. And I've talked about this. If you want to pay the normal price, go get it from Sideshow. No big deal. That's fine. But for the people that are tired of waiting, they provide a service and they deliver on that. So it's been real shady about kind of what's been going on there, trying to cancel a lot of these resellers and get Hot Toys to stop giving them to them. They're trying to twist their arm on that and then taking their websites down and a lot of legalese. So nasty stuff there. I'm going to stay out of that. But the nasty thing that was interesting is that, they do have these exclusives that come out. The summer showcase was up, and a business tactic they used, which I thought was real shady, is that they started putting these timers on the figures available, such as Boba Fett with the throne, such as, the Armorer and Doctor Strange, Iron Man. They'll say, hey, you have 5 minutes left or 24 hours, whatever, to get this exclusive version from us if you want it. The one that you had mentioned that comes with the little Razor Crest piece and things like that. Everyone's like, oh, shit, I got to get on there and get it now. And as soon as the week's over, that timer goes away and you can go back and get it again. And so they tricked people to go in and get in the exclusive because they thought they wouldn't get the exclusive. But now the timer's gone and you can go back and get the exclusive. Right. Do you think that's shady and manipulative?
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, it's their company. They can incorporate whatever kind of strategy they want to combat. These other companies that are, taking a piece of their pie, if you will. But I mean, what's a company you work with? Pop Collectibles. Like, I don't see how Hot Toys can have any leg to stand on to try to like shut them down from operating, because they're like, they're not doing in like legality wise, they're not doing anything wrong. I don't see them doing anything wrong at all. So if that's kind of like their answer to that if they can't shut them down, and that's kind of like their way of kind of combating those kind of smaller companies. And whatever they can do it. Is it shady?
But at the end of
Not
the
shady,
day,
no, but
nobody wins. At the end of the day, nobody wins,
right.
and it hurts the collectors. And the
Yep.
confidence in your companies are very much tarnished, and it's a bad look. But a little bit of good news is that apparently, our 501st troopers, we got emails saying they're shipping from Sideshow, and I was like, how in the world are these shipping? That just came out in Hong Kong 2 weeks ago, but in-game Captain America is still not shipping. So I don't know how they got over here, whether they airmailed them over. As I've said before, if they offered and if Sideshow said, hey, you can pay a premium to get these day one or quicker batch, whatever, people would pay that because Sideshow does have the reputation and like the risk management to where people don't have to worry about buying from overseas or anything. They have a market that they could capitalize on. It depends on whether or not they want to move forward with that. So the 501st is shipping. That's awesome. The Armorer is shipping from UK. So that's really fast. We just saw that announced, I guess last week. So that's going to be really cool to add to the Mandalorian shelf. Is that one you said you were getting or not really interested in?
The Armorer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm passing on that, but I do have the Trooper coming.
Cool. So those are good things that are going to be coming to us from both Hong Kong and Sideshow. But at the end of the day, the message I want to give out there is that this is a collector-friendly place. We want the collectors to be happy. Everyone needs to work together to get these things in people's hands. Let's just have some fun. Let's just smile. Let's not stop being shitty to each other. And at the end of the day, let's all enjoy some plastic. It's a good thing.
Yeah. And also
there's your PSA.
and also let's complain about stuff too, because that's just it's just
correct. Yeah, we got to complain about the things that don't matter.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't met my weekly complaining quota yet, so it's only Tuesday. So all right, so let's get into the grab bag. So just a few entries for the grab bag today. This week, Gentle Giants got some stuff. I felt like we just showed some stuff that they dropped last week, and they just dropped 3 more things. So dude, I'm not the biggest Rebels fan, but this thing is sweet. So this is a Star Wars Rebels Darth Vader mini bust. Like I said, I really like, out of all the stuff that Gentle Giant does, they have like 4 or 5 different lines to their statues. The mini bust is my favorite. I also like the classic mini bust, but just a normal mini bust that we have up here. This thing is perfect. And dude, something about like, I'm just a sucker for like cracked open masks. Like I think that's so cool how you can see Anakin's eyes, his red eye there. I think this thing is sweet. It's web exclusive, whatever that means. You can only get it on the internet, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what web exclusive.
And it's from such an incredible scene where when Ahsoka realizes it's Anakin underneath there. And so, I mean, that whole moment is just super, super cool. And I do like it's got the Rebelized styling on the helmet too. So very, very good.
Yep.
So if you had an opportunity to pay $125 for this or the Count Dooku, which one are you going with?
Oh my God. Yeah. This all day. Yeah, there's I don't have a Darth Vader, representation in my Gentle Giant. So this might be it, because the Darth Vader one that they do have, it's really old, so it's pretty expensive, on eBay and stuff. So if I can get this one for $125, I might do that. I have like 3 Gentle Giant statues kind of already on order, but yeah, this one might make it into the collection.
Yeah, it looks good. December release date, I think it said.
Yep.
Perfect.
And then next we got, and this thing is sweet. So we showed off, I believe, last week with our boy Jade. And if you haven't watched last week's episode or listened to last week's episode, that was a great one. Thanks again, Jade from the Geek Out Show. He joined us. There was a ton of toy news last week with the HasLabs and whatnot. And Jade helped us kind of talk shop. And we showed off the Gentle Giant Jumbo Mandalorian, but just the OG armor. Well, here we have the Beskar armor. And let me ask you this, because they have the cape is a little different. This is the cloth cape, and I believe the other one was like more of a
vinyl.
Yeah, it was the vinyl. So what I'm more into the vinyl like formed cape versus like a free formed like soft.
I think this
type
one's
cape.
going to be a mess.
Yeah.
I mean, it even looks a little bit odd, even in the promo picture. Imagine it being in a box on card or whatever. And if you take that out to display it, I think you have to get the steamer out or something, because I think it's going to be extremely difficult to finesse and finagle to get it looking right.
Yeah, that was kind of my feelings too. Like if I was to pick between the two, it would be the OG armor, because of I just like that, kind of formed cape that he had. You don't have to like mess with it. You know what I mean? Like this,
you got to futz this one around a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, and then lastly, out of the grab bag, which also happens to be the stinker of the week, this this thing's looking like one of my ex-girlfriends. Wowzer, look at this.
Lord, look at that hairline.
Jesus Christ. I mean, it's a stinger of the week for all the bad reasons. Like this,
right?
He's not supposed to like look good. Like from just the design aesthetic. This
why does he look like one of the Three Stooges?
Yeah, Mo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the Star Wars Blue Snaggletooth, which I love anything Blue Snaggletooth like merchandise. I think that's. I'm waiting for a Black Series figure of that.
Oh, it's got to be coming. Got to be coming, by the way.
Yeah, especially with the 50th. Like, come on. So this is the another mini bust. It's the Blue Snaggletooth. If you don't know about the Blue Snaggletooth, the lore in Star Wars, fandom, go ahead, give it a Google. I won't bore you, because if you're listening to this podcast, you probably know about it. But it is, there he is. I mean, it's a cool sculpt, and just everything else looks great. I love how they even like nailed the belt buckle. That's like identical to the figure.
I was literally about to make a mention about the belt buckle. That looked incredible. Do we know if those are LED lights in the eyes, or what is that?
they're like extra red, right? Yeah, I noticed that.
Crazy.
Too.
It's kind of got like the Homelander look going on, and my dog's barking downstairs. Fantastic.
Yeah, there he is. Yeah, I mean, no LEDs, but I mean, it's cool. I don't think that looks like him, and it's hard to say like what it looks like him, because he really wasn't technically in the movie, but like,
well, the big miss is the hair. He doesn't have hair,
right?
Not that I'm aware of. I have to like go back and look at it, but he doesn't have like that mop on his hair.
Yeah, like because on the toy, it's not like he has like hair, like full on hair. It's just kind of like black, which I'm assuming is hair. But yeah, this is just fucking weird, man.
I went to actually look it up. Went to the archives, and no, it's like thinning, kind of like chest hair almost. But he does not have a full head of hair like that at all.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it for Star Wars, and I'm fucking dying for you to get in typing the scales. Oh man.
Oh yes, my friend. So I got a good one for you. So I didn't think it was real, but check out these werepups. All right. So for one, $400 for these bad boys. These are
what? I didn't even realize the price. Holy shit.
Can we scroll through some of these images?
This is like a fucking HasLab.
But it's $4 flat rate shipping.
Oh my God.
All right. Do you want to hear the truth? Like, I low-key kind of want this.
No. Kevin.
Dude, this is badass. And like, I don't know anything about this. Obviously it's from Trick or Treat Studios, but I mean, look at that. It's like if you have Baby Yoda and you got Grogu, if you don't have this sitting next to him, that is a miss. And I have a sneaky suspicion that my boys at Totally Rad Toy House Replay Toys will be getting this, because they get a lot of the stuff from Trick or Treat Studios. And so if it becomes available and I see it in the flesh, I most likely am going to get this.
Dude, no.
Why? I mean, look at the thing. It's
400. Dude, like, you can get something. Just wait like 4 more weeks and pick something at fucking Spirit. Pick up like a like a Garbage Pail Kid or something if you want that effect. This is I just kind of realized scrolling through the pictures that it's like a fully articulated.
That's
like,
what I'm saying. It's
deal,
cool.
yeah.
Like you can like, do you want? I want to know like how big it is, and like, is this
Right.
something that you take to like the store to be funny? Like put it in a baby carriage and see what people say.
I mean, you got to. You absolutely, like, I don't see what other purpose there would be of owning something like this if you weren't like taking it to the airport, like, and acting like it's your fucking kid to scare other people. Like, it's just it's bizarre. It's out of nowhere. I like it.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Is like I literally thought it was a troll post. I didn't think it was real. But the more I looked at it and some of the glamour shots, I'm like, I might own this thing. And so we have. Unfortunately, it doesn't come out around Halloween, so we have to wait till Christmas. And all I know is that the way that I gift gifts to my wife around Christmas time, this could be one of her gifts. So I guess we'll see how it goes.
This or Turboman.
Yes, absolutely. So
Jade's gonna.
Turboman.
I think Jade's into this too. He's gonna get a double stroller and just have this next to his kid and just
and just like get one that's got like alternating like colors. That way you can have the twins, and I think it'd be awesome.
Yeah. Switch up the fucking onesie.
Yeah, and like give it like a little headband and get him like little baby Jordans and stuff. Like I could have a lot of fun with this thing.
Oh man. Okay. So Jade just dropped some. Yeah. There's actually a video on Vice about the person who makes this. Pretty interesting. Okay.
So Asia
check
Erickson,
that out.
I will go check that out because let's see if it'll sell me even further. Because as of now, I'm like 75% sure I might get this.
That price though. I mean, $400 for like a gag essentially. I don't know, man. There's two Hot Toys oh my god, Dave. Yeah, there's like two Hot Toys I'd rather get before I got little Gremlin baby.
So more soon on that for sure. But yeah, let's jump into our top three, man.
Dude, I can't get over that. What was it called? The fucking Werepuff? Werepup. Oh my god. It's man. Like it kind of has like Madball vibes to it. Like you just something just so bizarre, but like, dude, again, $400 for like a gag. I don't know, man. Do it. Buy it right now.
So I can get that $4 flat shipping. So my pile of loot. So you never know.
Yeah, there you go.
Capitalize.
Oh man, yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll do a fucking GoFundMe. Get us a fucking. We'll get twins. You and I will get twins, and then we'll go to Star Wars Celebration with.
That's what I was going to say. The kids will make an appearance at the con. No cap, for real.
Oh my god.
Get them some little like baby little R2D2 shirts and stuff. It'd be fantastic.
All right, so, dude, that's a solid tipping the scale.
It's hard to come back from that, isn't it?
All right, so here's our top three. So I kind of wanted to do something fun, and this is I don't know where I kind of got the idea of wanting to do something like this, but there's so many companies, a lot of us collectors, that we can appreciate and might not have. Like they're Hot Toys. There's a lot of people that just are like, no, like, I'm not spending $300 on a toy, and I totally get that. Fuck, I was one of those guys. Like when I was like doing the $20 Black Series figures, I was like, dude, I can't believe I'm spending $20. And then look at me now. I'm like, yo, yeah, I'll buy a $350 Hot Toy, no problem. So it's like, I get that, but there's still companies out there that I would like to get my feet in the pool and try out and purchase something from them. So today's top three are we're talking companies that we don't own any of their products, but would like to someday, or we're just a fan of their company, and maybe there's something that we might want to get, or whatnot. So just companies that we don't have representation of in our collection, but want someday. So you want to start it off? What's your number three, man? Oh, you're on mute.
I was on mute there for a second. Sorry about that. So this is one that I've never owned any, but I can appreciate them, and I've seen them. And depending on who the line is, because I've seen the Ghostbusters version, I love them. I wouldn't mind getting a couple Mezco. Because I really dig the premium format of these 6-scale figures. I love the soft goods. I love the details. I love everything that comes with that. And Mezco really is the premium version of 6-inch figures. And that's something I'd be interested in getting in, but I just know that as a rabbit hole chaser as I am, and that could definitely be, a big black hole for me. It's something I'm afraid, to get into, mainly because I don't know what line I'd want to be. It would have to be kind of a one-off, kind of like those Ghostbusters.
Or like the Popeye,
Yeah, or the Popeye or something along those lines. But I know like everyone loves, the Gomez Roach and, the Popeye and the pink skulls and such.
Right.
So they're extremely popular, mainly for the photography aspect of things.
Yep.
I'd be interested in being able to grab something like that to add it in.
So, okay, let me ask you this, and correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Hot Toys, like, I feel like 2 years ago, they kind of like hinted or teased at doing something like a Mezco scale, that like that 1/12 scale.
There was always there's still always rumors saying that they want to get into 6 inches, and because they started doing other scales, they started doing the quarter scale, and then they started doing the life size and such, and so then naturally the 1/12 scale would be the next iteration to add that to to the arsenal. I think there's nothing to that, just because they're so far behind on other products and such. That'd be the last thing that they need to do. Yeah. But I'm sure they could kill it. They certainly could.
Yeah. And that would, do you think that would finally like tip you over to kind of go towards that kind of direction, or, you just like Mezco and, maybe someday kind of thing?
Yeah. And I just know that they have the track record already, knowing that I don't want to kind of jump out there and then end up getting kicked in the balls, and they end up making one of them canceling the line, and I'd be disappointed. So
yeah, yep, yeah, and I can vouch for it. I have 3 or 4 Mezcos. I have all the Moon Knights and a few of the Daredevils. There's some really expensive Daredevils that I'll maybe get someday if I offload something else, but yeah, they're great. If you're a soft goods person and and dabble in photography, I mean that's the company for you. Especially if you with that scale. So yeah, Mezco, nice. Okay, so my number 3. So my number 3 is, speaking of photography, and I believe you got one of these, and this is Beast Kingdom Egg Attack, specifically Egg Attack, and these things, I don't have any pictures up here, but they're cool. Didn't you got one, right? You got the Mandalorian one, didn't you? Or you saw the Mandalorian?
I saw them, and I've seen several. I've seen a lot of the Marvel ones. I've seen the Wolverine, the Cyclops, the Endgame Thor. They are really, really cool. Yeah, I'm surprised I forgot to add that to my list. That's an honorable mention for me.
Yeah, and I mean, I follow a lot of accounts that are photographers, and they like their main medium is Egg Attack. Like they're just fun. Like you take them to the beach, you fucking take them to the woods, like seeing them in environments, and I would want to get one where I could be like, I could rationalize with like, okay, I don't, I'm not going to get like, say, Mr. Reed, Fantastic Four, and like, oh, well, I'm gonna need the fucking other 3 guys then. You know what I mean? Like, just one and done. Like, give me a shore trooper or like a death trooper, something that I can kind of have fun with. And I am actually leaning towards a shore trooper. I think I've seen a lot of photography of like people like taking them to the beach and just like doing fun stuff, and I think they're awesome.
Cute. I mean, they're cute. They travel well. They photograph well, and they got that little whimsy. And they're super articulated and come with a bunch of stuff. So
compact.
It ticks all the boxes.
Yep. All right, man. What's your number 2?
So number 2 is one that people gonna maybe roll their eyes at, because I don't own any of these, but I really would like to start doing this. Getting some Lego sets. I don't own any Lego sets.
Yeah, boy, there you go.
The more and more that come out, I really think I am going to jump on that Seinfeld piece.
I was going to say
about that on here, but I'm going to get that Seinfeld piece, and there's just some really good ones coming out, especially from Star Wars. And I don't think I'd ever build the village, that people do. But some of the big pieces, or the ones that display well, I think those would be cool. I would love to get into some Lego, just because I think it's fun to do, and it's calming and relaxing. And it could be a group activity if people would like to do that.
Totally.
And the properties out there, you could choose anything. You can pick what you want, and you can go as crazy as you want or as simple as you want. And I think it's a good opportunity for me. So who knows?
Nice, man. Yeah, I'm all in on the Lego train.
Yeah.
I've given up my kind of I had that little kind of desire to build a fucking town, Dave's town, kind of watching Josh Pence's YouTube videos of like buying all these like a movie theater and this and bookstore and like an idea of like making your own town like sounds pretty awesome, but like it's just not realistic. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, and also I've been to my Uncle Tim's house, and he is a Lego fiend, and he's got an entire like guest room full of Lego. And if you build towns and such like that, I mean, you're really going to be limited on where you can put them. I mean, you have to pretty much have like a giant pool table or something to build on top of. So that's one thing that deters me from going all in. But man, that seemed really cool and a good family activity.
So, if you're looking to get wet. How about August? You want to get wet, homie? August 1st. Let's go. Let's do it. Kevin and Dave buying the USC Republic gunship.
Oh, shit.
Your first Lego. Just get like the biggest Lego piece ever.
Like, I feel like that would take me we should build it live together on a stream to see how many people. A marathon.
Lap. Yeah.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, I knew. I was kind of feeling like, oh, you got to get the Seinfeld set. So does the Friends set do anything for you?
No, I'm not a Friends person. No offense to those that are, but I think I've said this before, is that we were a Seinfeld family. Usually you're Seinfeld or Friends. It's usually not both. And so, I showed that I showed that to all my friends, and they're like, oh, shit, I had no idea Lego's making a Seinfeld. Oh, my goodness, it's so cool. I got to get this. Yeah. So I feel like we'll be having quite a few Seinfeld Lego parties.
Yeah, that one is awesome. I'm hoping that they do The Office. I feel like they got to do that one.
They got to.
I would definitely.
The minifigs alone would be incredible.
Oh my God! Right. All right. Well, nice, dude. Lego. I didn't see that coming. Okay. All right. So my number 2, and I actually got a picture. So I first found out about this company out of Denver. I did like all the conventions ever since like San Diego started like hammering down on all these other cities for the Comic-Con. Like there was that like legal, like they were trying to say Comic-Con was like theirs, no one else could use Comic-Con. And then like all these kind of cities, there's like the Phoenix Comic-Con and the Denver Comic-Con, they started kind of like just like we don't even want to like get into that, so we're just going to change it. One is like San Diego, like that lawsuit or whatever that happened, they couldn't get Comic-Con, but most of these Comic-Cons like already changed their names. So I don't know what Denver Comic-Con was called at the time, but I went to one. Extremely long story short, sorry. But anyways,
I'm enjoying this ride. I'm enjoying the ride.
All right, yeah, right, good. It so I first saw this here, and this is Prime One Studio, and this is a quarter scale statue. We have Anti-Venom. This thing, I saw it was fucking humongous. Like it just caught my eye right away, and it was like there was like a main like big statue booth. This guy had everything. He probably had like 100 statues, and this one like drew my eye immediately. Through all the like Spider-Man statues and Batman statues, like big XM, like he had Dream statues, he had tons of statues, but dude, this one jumped out. And they're in that like $700 $800 range. They make some really cool ones. There's another awesome one that they do of Spider-Man 2099 that's sick. They do some really nice GI Joe ones that are again in that $800 $900 range. It's just a size thing. I mean, like I would love to get this someday, and I could see myself actually getting this someday. I would have to kind of make some changes because it's huge.
And you bastard, I actually had Prime Studios as my number 1 as well, just because they are incredible. They are the zenith of the way that. I mean, look at that Anti-Venom sculpt. But
these pictures aren't even like doing it justice. I mean, the detail on this thing is unreal.
And one of the things that really drew me is, the one, obviously that dark side from Justice League was ridiculous,
Right.
but the 1/3 scale Joker, the Joaquin Phoenix Joker,
Yeah.
which is
Yes.
stupid as well. And you think about the size of that, a 1/3 figure. I mean, that's almost bigger than the Hulkbuster. And I mean, you just have that guy that looks, I mean, they're incredible. They are very expensive, like you said, and they're art pieces, and you have to have the right proper place to display them. It's not something you just kind of throw in a corner somewhere.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, nice. That was your number one.
That was my number one. Is Prime Studios, just because I mean that's exactly what it is.
Good transition.
Prime Studios.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. How you like that?
How do you like that, Mapples? All right, and then I think you already used your. Did you have an honorable mention?
What was on my honorable mention? Oh, the Egg Attacks.
Yeah. Beast Kingdom. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so I'm back up then. Hey. Okay. So my number one. All right. Here's my honorable mention. Honorable mention is going to go to Arcade 1-Up.
Okay. Cool.
If I was to just be one and done, I could see myself getting the new four player X-Men game that just came out. I think that would work in my setup, and it would I'd play the shit out of that game, and my kids would. I could see myself getting that one. If I was to have a full on arcade room, I mean, dude, I would get a couple of the NBA Jam, the TMT 4-player. Fuck, I'd even get a little what's the golf Golden Tee going.
Golden Tee, yep.
But yeah, so that's my honorable mention. But my number one, and this is I didn't say it had to be action figures, but my number one is going with my all-time favorite just designer, or not designer, Jesus Christ, artist. Where the fuck is this? And dude, that's Alex Ross, dude. I've just always wanted something from him. I saw this at a Seattle, the Emerald City Comic Con, and I'm kicking myself in the ass. This is in 2017, I believe. And they had a booth there, an Alex Ross booth. And there was it was an exclusive style of this, but it was an exclusive limited, printed, and it was $400, but it was signed. And I was I don't know. And I pass on it. I'm totally that's the ultimate. We could do a top 3,
yeah, we regrets. Definitely should.
But yeah, I'm totally kicking myself in the ass for not getting that. But yeah, dude, I would love to get this someday. He's got some really nice Universal Monster prints that I would fucking die to get, but they're $1,500. So I'm just not doing that for art. I can't do that. I'd buy that Anti-Venom, and then some, before I bought a picture. But yeah, dude, Alex Ross, dude, he's just he's one of those artists that you can just tell right away, boom, that's an Alex Ross. That's an Alex Ross, or that person's trying to be like Alex Ross. I mean, his stuff is so iconic. It's bar down my favorite, kind of comic artist, and great stuff. Yeah, so that's my number one, dude.
Well done. I didn't know we were allowed to branch out into art, dude. So that's cool. That's cool.
I'm always fucking
changing the rules, changing the goalposts at the last moment, but I'll allow it. Typical
Dave. All right, well, let's get into G.I. Joe. So, we teased a couple weeks ago. We teased that Mego teased that they had some fucking huge news. Their biggest news since they announced that they were making a comeback, and I don't think if we had any solid spec on that. I think we were kind of leaning towards Star Wars, right?
I know we
threw that out there, right?
I think we threw Star Wars because is that the thing that's going to break the internet?
Well, no, that was Super 7 said that they were going to break the internet, and that ended up being the G.I. Joe Ultimates. But Mego said that they had their biggest, news coming.
Yeah, I don't know if we ever threw anything out officially.
Yeah, but it's G.I. Oh, that's the wrong G.I. Joe, but. We can get to
that one does look good.
Anyways, Mego did announce that they're gonna do GI Joe, and we'll get to that on the next slide. But the one that we have up here right now, 3-0, announced another Storm Shadow. This is a camo Storm Shadow, so that's number 4 GI Joes from 3-0. So we got 2 Snake Eyes. We had just the standard black one, which I got in pre-order, and then we got the red,
that red variant,
Dead Game,
yeah,
from the comics, and then we got a classic Storm Shadow, which I got, and then we got this camo one. This thing's pretty sweet, man. And
yeah, I think this was a lot better than the traditional original one.
I know I'm almost tempted on canceling that and going with this one. I mean, it's the accessories that it comes with is, very nice. There's a ton of accessories, and dude, I'm just a sucker for camo. But I feel like I'm keeping the classic Snake Eyes, and I already no, I'm gonna put them on the same D-top. So I kind of feel like if I'm going with the classic Snake Eyes, I got to go with the classic Storm Shadow. So I'm kind of that's where I'm at with it right now.
Confliction on that, because you don't want to have too much polarity there to where it doesn't make sense, and to where you start looking at it and you're like, oh, why did I do this? And you start regretting your decisions. So I'm with you on that.
And I'm not going down like a variant rabbit hole for 6 scale GI Joes. Like I'm not buying different versions. Like I just want to be
those to me.
Yeah, I just want to be like those 2 and that's it. Like I don't need any other characters in 6 scale unless like they do a fucking shipwreck and I'm like, holy shit. But here's the Mego news that we were going to show. And yeah, dude, it's a 2-pack, which is very cool. So Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow 2-pack by Mego on Hasbro Pulse. So we've seen this a few times where we get other companies that have a license that Hasbro owns. Hasbro will throw it up on their site. And so you can get this right now. It's $60. I think that's pretty steep. I mean, these normally go for like $14. So I don't know where they're getting $60.
I'm sure it'll have some exclusive packaging or something.
Yeah, they don't show anything about the packaging. Yeah, dude, I definitely don't need these unless the packaging is really creative and just amazing.
It's a weird one. It's a weird one for me because it's got that nostalgic look to it, that vintage look, but it's asking for premium pricing on that. And that's where I have a disconnect, is that this is not like a Mezco or something that is highly detailed or highly articulated. You're kind of getting something kind of, not saying it's lesser than, because I mean, it's cool, but that's $60 is quite a hefty price tag for those.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, yeah, it'll be interesting. We'll show it as soon as the packaging kind of the pictures surface there. So yeah, hard, easy pass, but it is interesting to see how like they're like kind of combining forces. And I do want to point out, like, Hasbro, I mean, nice work on Hasbro for letting their competitors essentially get a crack at licensing.
Yeah, that's been really good and encouraging to see.
So we have 8 figure companies has the GI Joe license, and then there's like a fuck ton of just like, dude, they got snowboards, they got skis, they got just random stuff. So they are shelling out the GI Joe license, but with those 8 companies, so you got Hasbro, you got Super 7, you got 3-0, Mezco, Mego, Jada Toys, Minimates, Funko, and then
I didn't realize there was that many of them.
Yeah, and then they got their own, like Super 7's got Reaction, now Ultimates, and Hasbro's got 3 lines now: Classified, Retro, and Basic. So it's just where I'm going with this. Are we going to get to like an oversaturated on the GI Joe craze? I mean, I wasn't a fan of the movie. There's I've seen kind of mixed reviews, but I don't think that it's gonna like blow up and make people like new GI Joe fans, like, my kids, I kind of felt like a shitty dad. Like, I took all three of my kids to see fucking Snake Eyes.
Nice.
I was like, dude, I don't give a shit. Like, the first scene, guy gets like shot in the head, and like Lindsay's just like, she gives me the eye row down the aisle, like, really, and I'm like, yeah, it'll get better. You don't worry about that, kids. Guns are bad, but they have no interest in it. Like, it's not like Connor's like, oh yeah, like he's obsessed with Snake Eyes or anything. So I don't know if I'm cool with like more merchandise, but like, dude, are we gonna oversaturate the market?
I think you bring up a very good point. And if you think about what happened to Star Wars, even the biggest property and IP in the world, I mean, they even went through a point of oversaturation to where there was 50,000 lines and 50,000 variants and everything in the world. And now all of that is just sitting on pegs still, and there's just too much out there. And I know businesses love to capitalize on what's hot, but I think when you actually laid it out like that, and I saw that there was that many different vendors and different companies out there that have these rights, that does give me some pause, because as you said, it is the nostalgia driving the adults to pick up these things.
Right.
And very few people like you and I are going to go and be like, oh, I'm all in on all 8 of these lines. And then, as you said, the kids, there is no cartoon that they're growing up watching. They're literally just riding our coattails. Yep. And you're depending on a good movie to hopefully not suck and to hopefully bring them back in. And if it does suck, then you're just kind of out there, and you're going to have to really rely on mom and dad to get you going again.
Exactly. You're relying on mom and dad to shepherd, you're like the next generation to like your
that are just not really superheroes. They're just kind of not downplaying GI Joe, but they're the real American heroes.
Right.
There's nothing special about them. There's no like laser swords or spaceships or anything like that. I mean, to a degree. I mean, you know what I mean?
Space opera.
Yeah. So it's very interesting that you put it that way.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to see how it plays out. I mean, once we get some more kind of movie and shows, like there's the Scarlet show, it's in the works, and they're obviously gearing up to do like an MCU type campaign, games and all that stuff. So I'm just happy it's back. Like, more GI Joe the better as far as like a media presence goes. I am just kind of curious to see how the toys play out, and how many people are actually going to like be buying all this stuff, because you can only rely on 37-year-old or 38-year-old assholes like me that are just wanting to like buy everything GI Joe, because I ain't buying all this stuff,
right?
And I consider myself a pretty like diehard GI Joe guy, So
yeah, you eventually get some diminishing returns there.
Yep. All right. Well, and then lastly, we get Mezco Firefly. So that was the last news for Joe.
Perfect transition
for Joe. Yeah. So this is number 3 GI Joe from the Mezco world, and Firefly. They just had like one basic picture. It was just part of their San Diego Comic-Con, debut. We're gonna get into another thing here in Marvel, but. Yeah, I mean it's great, but like I said, I proactively pumped the brakes on getting the Mezco stuff, because I knew the Super 7 was going to come, and I'm like, I'm not buying all of the GI Joe stuff. I'm just not doing it. So it looks great. I know people are fucking pumped about it, because there's the people that like Mezco love Mezco.
Yeah, they're diehards, and they're as diehard as I am with my 6 scale. I mean, I would argue that they're
Hot Toys even.
Yeah. I mean, they're even more so diehard on there, just because you can put more on a shelf. So they certainly do.
Okay, man. Well, let's move on over to our last one, Marvel. Let's get into our Galactus watch.
Yes, it is Galactus watch, ladies and gentlemen. As we talked about last week, we brought up, and I ashamedly found out that there has been a HasLab project that was not funded, and I still kick myself every day realizing that Cookie Monster never was funded. But Dave, I think we're going to have to start having a serious conversation on whether or not this lovely Galactus ends up getting funded. Now, as we know, they put an incredible benchmark of 14,000 backers is what they were asking to get this thing done. They did give us some first tier teasers to say, hey, let's knock this out, but let's not worry about the first tier. we're only at 8,000 backers now after the first week when it went live. We're now at 9,000, just a little over 9,000. So I think you did some math for me, and I appreciate that. So that's an average of 147 backers a day last week. If that pace stays the same, which you either going to have it slow down or you're going to have people really rush by it at the end, you will just squeak by. And we have committed to our lovely listeners on here that we will be giving you a Galactus watch every single week to update this, and we'll give you our time to goal on whether or not it's going to be happening. But gut, deep down, Dave, do you think this will be funded? And if so, how many tiers are we getting?
I'm very interested to see the pace, the daily pace from this week until our next, episode 54, whatever that is. Because 147 backers a day on average from last week. And like Kevin said, up until, its deadline, that would make it 14,123. So fucking squeaking by, dude. And I think it's going to slow down. I think a good portion of the people that wanted this they backed it. There's going to be people that are on the fence, but I think those people that are on the fence, your daily numbers are going to go down. So I think majority
a big test is going to be this weekend, because it's going to be the first of the month. And I know some people get paid on the first of the month and such. So if the numbers don't move considerably with people's paycheck, then there's going to be some serious issues, I think.
Yeah. And I mean, that could be something like people just don't know about. Like it doesn't, I think it authorizes your card right away, but it doesn't go through until
like a pre-hold.
The backing day. Yeah. So they probably will authorize your card if you do it now, but they won't actually, run it until it's successfully funded or whatnot. I think that the tiers, obviously, if they do some more teasing of the tiers, that'll help. So the first tease, we got Silver Surfer, and they teased Silver Surfer and Nova. So the heralds, some of the heralds, I mean, they could round out that whole thing. I kind of feel like, dude, repaints for tiers, though, it's like, of course I got to complain, right? But I feel like that's kind of, I mean, let's get a little more, not just repaint.
I mean, if you look at some of the different tiers that you got for some of the other HasLabs, I do think that's very, very weak. I think the Sentinel was, 1 in a million. People really came out the woodworks for that, and you just getting all kinds of different things, whether it be tentacles or faces or extra sculpts. I mean, it was incredible. So I guess we'll see. As I'm interested to see, how much, if that per day number ticks up or ticks down, and we will let you know, our faithful audience. But one thing that we're doing a lot of Mezco today. One thing, as I said, I go back and forth, and like on the day, let's talk about this Mezco Spider-Man 2099. This is something that could get me into the Mezco game if I wanted to go that route, because depending on which day it is, I like it. And today, I like it.
Yeah, I like it too, man.
It's really cool because this is the way, and I think you have the Hot Toys 2099. The suit is not workable. You can't really do much with it. But this, on the other hand, this is the way I wanted the Hot Toys suit to be. Right. And this looks cool. It's kind of got, it's almost like a meshy fabric. I mean, it's a superhero suit. It's your typical Mezco suit, and it looks really, really good. I love the big, vibrant colors. Those look fantastic. So, like I said, depending on the day, I like it, and then other days I don't. But today, I kind of like this. Is this something you would ever want to add to your Spidey shelf?
Yeah, I'm exactly the same with you, man. Like, I'm really partial to this suit. This is like, if not my number one favorite Spidey suit, it's in the top 3. The 2099 suit is so iconic. I absolutely love it. I mean, I remember, that first so comic edgy. Run. So super edgy, super hippie, hipster. And yeah, this is just badass, dude. I dig it, but yeah, dude, I just can't open up a fucking Mezco Marvel rabbit hole. There's no way, dude.
Yeah, but I do know that some people will be very excited about this because this is a great one. I think it's got a good shelf presence. It's got a lot of good stuff with it. So pretty cool. You're getting this and future Meskos. I guess we'll see. But one thing that will be added to my collection is that the Fat Thor or in-game Thor was released, and that one looks really good. There are some complaints still that he's
not bad enough.
Well, that because it really limits articulation because he's so thick.
Sure.
But they did not improve the legs or the arms. They're essentially the exact same legs and arms from the Infinity War Thor. And a lot of people didn't like how it's not double jointed elbows. That's a problem. And then the ankles on all Hot Toys Thors are abysmal. I mean, I've never seen ankles on any other figure. So you pretty much have to have him on a stand. And you're not really much you can do with dynamic posing. But that sculpt is absolutely gorgeous. Got the Viking beard. It looks fantastic. So it'll be good to be able to finally get, the trinity of the dynamic trio of, Cap, Iron Man, and Thor in the display. So that's on its way. So that'll be pretty cool. But we do have some rumors that the next big release will be battle damaged Thanos, which that's not going to fit for me. I love my armored Thanos. It's fantastic, but that is a big piece that takes up a lot of room. And I don't need two of them. I can certainly tell you that. And the battle damage one's just a little bit of extra paint and a better head sculpt. And that's it for me.
What's the resale on the one that you have?
You went silent. I can't hear you.
Oh, still off?
While he's figuring out that microphone. The thing that I'm just not able to do is I wish that there was a possibly the original Infinity Gauntlet. You don't get that one with the battle damage Thanos. You do get the nanotech one. I wish there was an accessory pack. That would be cool. I would pay for an accessory pack to get the broken sword, and I would pay to get the extra head sculpt. And I think that'd be cool. Dave, are you back with us?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
No, I can't hear you. Here we are again. He's in and out. But so Battle Damage Thanos is the next idea of what's supposed to be coming out. So I guess we'll see if he does come back. But we were going to talk about our Predator hunt list because that's the last thing for the show. And so hopefully he can come back there and we can talk about some last minute things that we want to grab. Let's see. Will he show? Hello. We made it this far with no interruptions, so that's pretty good. I'll take that any day. Anybody got a smart-ass comment that you would like to leave in the chat?
Hey there.
Maybe I should just do the sign-off slogan for us. Well, while Dave tries to figure that out, the only thing we were going to talk about was the Predator hunt list, and we will bring those up to you next week. But as we always say, until we say hello again, we'll keep the peg warm for you, and we look forward to you being with us on our next trip down the toy aisle. It's not a good podcast without a little bit of technical difficulties, so we will see you soon. Peace.